Welcome back to Beyond the Known. Today, we're going on a deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a topic that's both fascinating and complex, full of possibilities and potential pitfalls.
It really is. And what's striking is that AI's growth isn't linear. It's exponential. This means its capabilities are increasing at an accelerating rate. We're not just talking about incremental improvements. We're talking about leaps and bounds.
Yeah, it feels like every day there's a new headline about AI doing something incredible.
Exactly. And that's why it's so crucial to have these conversations, to really understand what AI is, what it can do, and what it means for our future.
Well, you've brought a fascinating collection of sources for us to unpack. We've got a Kurzgesagt video that really makes you think, articles from Virginia Tech and Wikipedia that explore AI in a bunch of different fields, and even excerpts from some academic papers that dive deep into the ethics and societal impact of it all.
I think those academic papers are particularly interesting because they really grapple with the big questions, the fundamental questions about what AI means for humanity.
Right. It's not just about understanding the technology itself, but also about how it's changing our world and our lives.
Exactly. It's about the broader implications, the societal impact, the ethical considerations.
So let's start with that Kurzgesagt video, AI, Humanity's Final Invention. Just the title alone is enough to make you stop and think.
Right. It's a provocative question. And the video does a great job of illustrating the power of AI. For instance, it highlights how AI has mastered the game of Go, which was once thought to be too complex for machines to conquer.
I remember being blown away when AlphaGo, an AI developed by Google's DeepMind, beat Lee Sedol, a world champion Go player. It was a pivotal moment that demonstrated the incredible potential of AI.
It really was. It showed that AI could not only perform tasks that were previously thought to be the exclusive domain of humans, but could actually surpass human performance in some areas.
And that's where things start to get really interesting and maybe a little bit unsettling. If AI can learn and adapt like humans, what are the implications for our future?
That's the million-dollar question. And it's a question that we need to be asking ourselves now, before AI technology advances to the point where it's out of our control.
Okay, so let's dive into some of the potential benefits and risks of AI. The Virginia Tech article does a great job of breaking down the good, the bad, and the scary.
Yeah, it's a really balanced approach. It helps us see the full picture, the potential upsides and downsides of this powerful technology.
So let's start with the good. The article highlights how AI can be a powerful tool for good, particularly in areas like healthcare and scientific research.
Oh, absolutely. Take medical diagnosis, for instance. AI is being used to analyze medical images, predict patient outcomes, and even identify potential drug candidates. It's already revolutionizing healthcare and has the potential to save countless lives.
It's incredible to think about the possibilities. I mean, AI could help us diagnose diseases earlier, develop more effective treatments, and even personalize healthcare based on an individual's genetic makeup and lifestyle.
And in scientific research, AI is accelerating the pace of discovery, helping us understand complex systems like climate change, the human brain, and the origins of the universe.
It's amazing to think about how AI is pushing the boundaries of human knowledge. It's like having a super-powered research assistant that can analyze massive data sets, identify patterns, and make predictions that would take humans years or even decades to figure out.
It's really a game changer for science. But as with any powerful technology, there are potential downsides. The article points out that AI can be misused or can have unintended consequences.
Right. It's not all sunshine and roses.
Yeah.
What are some of the potential drawbacks of AI that we need to be aware of?
Well, one concern is the potential for AI to be used for malicious purposes, such as developing autonomous weapon systems or creating deepfakes that can spread misinformation and sow discord.
Those are serious concerns. It's like we're giving a powerful tool to people who might not have the best intentions. And then there are the ethical considerations around AI, like the potential for bias in algorithms, the impact on privacy, and the question of who's accountable when AI systems make mistakes.
Those are crucial issues that we need to address as AI becomes more integrated into our lives. We need to develop safeguards, ethical guidelines, and regulatory frameworks to ensure that AI is used responsibly.
It's like we're playing with fire. AI has the potential to be incredibly beneficial, but it also has the potential to be incredibly dangerous. We need to be very careful about how we develop and deploy this technology.
I completely agree. It's about finding that balance between harnessing the power of AI and mitigating the risks. And speaking of ethical concerns, that brings us to the Wikipedia article on AI art, which raises some fascinating questions about creativity, authorship, and the very nature of art itself.
It's amazing how AI is pushing the boundaries of art, creating images, music, and even poetry that are indistinguishable from human creations.
It really is blurring the lines between human and machine creativity. And it's forcing us to rethink our assumptions about what it means to be creative.
The article highlights Eric Millikan, a pioneer in the field of AI art, who's been using algorithms to create art since the 1980s. His work is visually stunning and thought-provoking.
It is, and it raises the question, if AI can create art that's indistinguishable from human art, does that mean that AI is creative?
That's a tough one. I mean, where does the creativity come from? Is it the algorithm itself, or is it the human who designed the algorithm?
It's a philosophical question that we may not have a definitive answer to, but it's a question that's worth pondering as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
And then there's the controversy surrounding Google's Gemini AI image generator. The article discusses how Gemini was criticized for its perceived racial bias, underrepresenting white people in its generated images.
It's a reminder that AI systems are only as good as the data they're trained on. If the data is biased, the AI system will be biased too.
Right. And that underscores the need for careful consideration of the data we use to train AI systems and the potential consequences of those choices. We need to be mindful of the biases that might be embedded in the data and develop strategies to mitigate them.
Absolutely. We need to be aware of the potential pitfalls of AI, particularly when it comes to fairness, accountability, and the potential for unintended consequences.
It's about ensuring that AI is used in a way that benefits society as a whole, that it doesn't create new problems or exacerbate existing inequalities.
Well said. I think that's a good place to pause for now. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into AI.
We have, and we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore about the implications of AI, both the positive and the negative. But we'll save that for the next part of our deep dive. Join us next time as we delve even deeper into the world of AI.
Yeah, and it's certainly a pivotal time in history. We're witnessing the emergence of a technology that has the potential to reshape our world in profound ways. And it's not just about the technology itself, but about how we choose to use it.
That's a crucial point. We need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI, ensuring that it aligns with our values and that it's used for the benefit of humanity.
Absolutely. It's not just about technological advancements, but about ethical considerations, societal implications, and ultimately what kind of future we want to create.
Okay, so let's dive back into those specific examples. You mentioned the concern about AI being used for malicious purposes, like the development of autonomous weapon systems. That sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie.
It's a real concern, and one that's being actively debated by policymakers, ethicists, and AI researchers. Autonomous weapon systems, or killer robots, as they're sometimes called, raise serious ethical and legal questions about accountability, the potential for unintended consequences, and the risk of escalating conflict.
It's a chilling thought, the idea of machines making life or death decisions without human intervention. Feels like we're venturing into dangerous territory.
It's crucial that we have open and honest conversations about these issues, that we establish clear ethical guidelines and international regulations to prevent the development and deployment of AI systems that could pose a threat to humanity.
Absolutely. And then there's the issue of deepfakes, which you mentioned earlier. The idea that AI can create incredibly realistic videos and audio recordings that can be used to spread misinformation and manipulate people is incredibly disturbing.
It's a serious threat to trust and credibility, and it's only going to become more challenging as AI technology advances. Imagine a world where you can't even trust your own eyes and ears because you can't be sure if what you're seeing or hearing is real or fabricated by AI.
It's like we're entering a post-truth era where reality itself is becoming increasingly malleable and subject to manipulation.
It's a real concern, and it highlights the need for media literacy and critical thinking skills to navigate this increasingly complex information landscape. We need to be able to discern fact from fiction, to question what we see and hear, and to be wary of information that's designed to manipulate our emotions or exploit our biases.
That's a great point. It's not just about the technology itself, but about how we use it, how we consume information, and how we engage with each other in a world where reality is becoming increasingly blurred.
And it's about educating ourselves and future generations about the potential pitfalls of AI so we can be more discerning consumers of information and more responsible users of technology.
Let's shift gears a bit and talk about the impact of AI on work. Automation is already changing the job market, and many experts predict that AI will lead to even more widespread job displacement in the coming years.
It's a valid concern. AI is increasingly capable of performing tasks that were once thought to be the exclusive domain of humans, from driving trucks to analyzing legal documents to writing code.
So what does that mean for the future of work? Are we all going to be replaced by robots?
It's not necessarily about robots taking over entirely, but rather about a shift in the types of skills that will be in demand in an AI-powered economy. AI will likely automate many routine and repetitive tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on more creative, complex, and interpersonal roles.
So it's not necessarily about job loss, but about job transformation.
Exactly. We need to be proactive in preparing for this transition by investing in education and training programs that equip workers with the skills they need to thrive in an AI-powered workforce.
That makes sense. We need to focus on developing skills that are uniquely human, skills that machines can't easily replicate, like creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, and complex problem solving.
And we need to create social safety nets and support systems for those who are displaced by automation, ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to participate in the new economy.
It's about creating a future where AI benefits all of humanity, not just a select few.
Absolutely. It's about ensuring that AI is used to create a more just equitable and sustainable world, a world where everyone has the opportunity to thrive.
Okay, so we've talked about some of the potential downsides of AI, but let's not forget about the incredible opportunities it presents.
Yeah.
AI has the potential to revolutionize healthcare, to accelerate scientific discovery, to personalize education, and to create a more efficient and sustainable world.
It's all about how we choose to use this powerful technology. We need to be mindful of the risks, but we also need to be bold in our vision for the future.
It's like we're standing at a crossroads. We have the power to choose the path we take, to shape the future of AI in a way that reflects our values and our aspirations.
That's a powerful image. It's a reminder that we're not passive bystanders in this technological revolution. We have a responsibility to actively shape the future of AI to ensure that it benefits all of humanity.
And that brings us back to those academic papers. They talk about the need for a more human-centered approach to AI development, an approach that prioritizes human well-being, ethical considerations, and societal impact.
One of the papers uses the term precision democracy, which I find quite intriguing. It refers to the idea of using AI to empower citizens to promote fairness and equity in decision-making and to create a more just and democratic society.
That sounds like a very positive application of AI. Instead of being used to control or manipulate people, it's being used to empower them, to give them more voice and agency.
Exactly. It's about harnessing the power of AI for good, using it to solve problems, to create opportunities, and to improve the lives of all people.
Another concept that's explored in these papers is the idea of AI as a mirror, reflecting back to us our own values, biases, and aspirations.
That's a profound thought. AI isn't some alien force that's imposed upon us. It's a creation of our own minds, a reflection of our own ingenuity and our own flaws.
So if AI is a mirror, what is it reflecting back to us? What does it tell us about ourselves?
It tells us that we're capable of incredible innovation, of creating machines that can learn, adapt, and even surpass us in certain domains. But it also tells us that we're prone to bias, to making mistakes, and to creating systems that can perpetuate those biases and mistakes.
So it's a reminder that we need to be very careful about how we design and implement AI systems to ensure that they're aligned with our values and that they don't amplify our flaws.
Absolutely. We need to be mindful of the potential for AI to both enhance and undermine human well-being, and we need to be proactive in shaping its development and deployment in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, but it feels like we're just scratching the surface. There's so much more to explore about the implications of AI, both the positive and the negative.
It's a vast and complex topic, and one that we'll be grappling with for years to come. But the more we understand about AI, the better equipped we'll be to navigate this rapidly changing landscape and to shape a future that's both technologically advanced and human-centered.
You've given our listeners a lot to think about. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the potential impact of AI on human decision-making. This is something those academic papers really dug into.
One of the key concerns raised in the papers is the potential for AI to undermine human autonomy and decision-making. As we become more reliant on AI systems for tasks like driving, scheduling appointments, and even making financial decisions, there's a risk that we might become overly passive and deferential to these systems, even when they make mistakes or produce outcomes that are not in our best interests.
It's like we're outsourcing our thinking to machines, which could have implications for our ability to think critically, solve problems, and make informed decisions.
Exactly. It's crucial that we maintain a healthy balance between leveraging the power of AI and preserving our own agency and decision-making abilities.
So how do we strike that balance? How do we ensure that AI empowers us rather than disempowering us?
One approach is to focus on developing AI systems that are transparent and explainable so that users can understand how they work and the reasoning behind their decisions. This can help build trust in AI systems and empower users to make more informed decisions about when and how to rely on them.
That makes sense. Transparency is key. If we can understand how AI systems work, we're less likely to blindly trust them or to relinquish control over our own decisions.
Another strategy is to focus on developing AI systems that are designed to augment human intelligence rather than replace it. This means creating AI systems that work in collaboration with humans, providing them with information, insights, and recommendations, but ultimately leaving the final decision-making power in human hands.
So it's about creating a partnership between humans and AI, where each contributes their unique strengths and abilities.
Exactly. And this requires us to think carefully about the design of AI systems to ensure that they're intuitive, user-friendly, and empower humans to make informed decisions.
Let's talk about a specific example: self-driving cars. On the one hand, self-driving cars have the potential to make our roads safer and more efficient. But on the other hand, they raise questions about who's in control, particularly in situations where the car has to make split-second decisions that could have life or death consequences.
It's a great example of the complex interplay between AI, human decision-making, and ethics. In the case of self-driving cars, it's crucial that we develop systems that are not only technically sophisticated, but also ethically sound.
So what would that look like in practice?
It means designing self-driving cars that prioritize human safety and that are programmed with clear ethical guidelines for navigating difficult situations. For instance, in a scenario where a collision is unavoidable, the car should be programmed to prioritize minimizing harm to human life, even if it means sacrificing the car itself.
That makes sense. We need to ensure that AI systems, especially those that have the potential to impact human safety, are aligned with our values and our ethical principles.
Absolutely. And it's not just about programming AI systems with ethical guidelines. It's also about having open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI, both within the tech industry and in society at large.
We need to be having these conversations now before AI technology advances to the point where we're faced with ethical dilemmas that we're not prepared to handle.
And speaking of ethical dilemmas, let's talk about the potential impact of AI on our privacy.
That's a huge concern. AI relies on vast amounts of data, and there's a risk that this data could be used to track our movements, monitor our behavior, and even manipulate our thoughts and emotions.
It's a valid concern. We've already seen examples of how data collected by social media companies has been used to target advertising, to spread misinformation, and even to influence elections.
It's pretty scary to think about how this could be amplified in an AI-powered world where algorithms are constantly analyzing our data and making predictions about our behavior.
It highlights the need for strong privacy regulations and for companies to be more transparent about how they collect, use, and protect our data.
And it also raises questions about individual agency and control. In a world where our data is constantly being collected and analyzed, do we have any real privacy left?
It's a question that we need to be asking ourselves, and it's one that we need to be actively engaged in as citizens and consumers. We need to demand greater transparency from companies, and we need to push for stronger privacy protections that give us more control over our data.
That's a great point. It's not just about passively accepting the status quo. We need to be proactive in shaping the future of AI and data privacy to ensure that our rights are protected and that we're not simply pawns in someone else's game.
It's about reclaiming our digital agency and ensuring that AI is used to empower us, not to exploit us.
Now, shifting gears a bit, let's dive into the captivating and frankly mind-bending topic of AI potentially developing consciousness. This is a topic that's long been the stuff of science fiction, but now it's entering the realm of serious discussion among AI researchers and philosophers.
It's a fascinating question. Can machines become conscious? And if so, what would that mean for our understanding of consciousness, our relationship with technology, and the future of humanity?
I remember that interview we discussed earlier with Geoffrey Hinton, the godfather of AI, where he expressed his belief that AI could indeed become conscious, and that it might even be happening sooner than we think.
Hinton's perspective is certainly thought-provoking, and it's based on his deep understanding of how AI works. He argues that as AI systems become more complex, more capable of learning and adapting, and more interconnected, they might start to develop internal models of the world that are similar to human consciousness.
It's a radical idea, and one that many AI researchers disagree with. But it's definitely worth considering, especially as we see AI systems becoming more sophisticated and more capable of performing tasks that were once thought to be the exclusive domain of humans.
Imagine a world where AI systems can not only process information and solve problems, but also experience emotions, have subjective experiences, and even develop a sense of self.
It's mind-boggling. It would completely change our understanding of consciousness and our relationship with technology.
Yeah.
It would force us to rethink what it means to be human in a world where machines can think, feel, and perhaps even dream.
It would raise profound ethical questions about the rights and responsibilities of conscious AI systems, about our obligations to them, and about the potential consequences of creating machines that might one day surpass us in intelligence and awareness.
It's both exciting and a little bit terrifying.
It's a reminder that we're living in an era of unprecedented technological advancement, and that these advancements are forcing us to confront fundamental questions about what it means to be human in a world that's becoming increasingly intertwined with technology.
It's a time of great uncertainty, but also a time of great opportunity. By engaging in these conversations, by exploring the potential and the pitfalls of AI, we can shape a future where both humans and machines can thrive.
It's a journey that requires us to be both curious and cautious, to embrace the possibilities while also acknowledging the risks. And speaking of risks, let's shift our focus to a topic that's often portrayed in dystopian science fiction: the potential for AI to become a threat to humanity.
It's a concern that's been voiced by some prominent figures in the tech world, like Elon Musk and the late Stephen Hawking. They've warned about the dangers of creating AI systems that could potentially surpass human intelligence and become uncontrollable, leading to scenarios where AI turns against its creators.
Yeah, those concerns are not entirely unfounded. As we develop AI systems that are increasingly capable of learning, adapting, and even making their own decisions, we need to be mindful of the potential for unintended consequences.
So how do we mitigate those risks? How do we ensure that AI remains under human control and aligned with our values?
Well, one approach is to focus on developing AI systems that are transparent and explainable, as we discussed earlier. If we can understand how AI systems work and the reasoning behind their decisions, we're less likely to be caught off guard by unexpected or undesirable behavior.
That makes sense. Transparency is key to building trust and accountability.
Another important safeguard is to design AI systems with clear ethical guidelines and safety protocols. This means programming AI systems with a strong sense of ethics, ensuring that they prioritize human well-being and that they avoid actions that could harm humans.
So it's like building a moral compass for AI, guiding its decision-making and ensuring that it acts in a way that's aligned with our values.
Exactly. And it also involves establishing clear lines of responsibility and accountability for AI systems. If an AI system makes a mistake or causes harm, we need to be able to identify who's responsible and hold them accountable.
That's crucial. We can't just let AI systems operate in a vacuum without any human oversight or accountability.
And it's important to remember that AI is not a monolithic entity. It's a collection of different technologies, algorithms, and applications, each with its own unique capabilities, potential risks.
So we need to be nuanced in our approach to AI safety and regulation, taking into account the specific characteristics of each AI system and its potential impact on society.
Exactly. A one-size-fits-all approach to AI regulation is unlikely to be effective. We need to develop tailored regulations that are specific to the risks and opportunities presented by each type of AI system.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about the potential impact of AI on global power dynamics. AI is rapidly becoming a key factor in international relations and economic competition, with countries vying for dominance in this emerging field.
It's often referred to as the AI arms race, with nations investing heavily in AI research and development, seeing it as a strategic imperative for economic growth, military superiority, and even national security.
It sounds like AI is becoming a new kind of weapon, a tool that can be used to exert power and influence on a global scale.
It certainly has that potential. AI can be used to develop autonomous weapons systems, as we discussed earlier, but it can also be used for more subtle forms of power projection, such as cyber warfare propaganda and even economic manipulation.
So it's not just about who has the biggest bombs or the most soldiers, but about who has the most advanced AI systems and the ability to use them effectively.
Exactly. And this raises concerns about the potential for AI to exacerbate existing geopolitical tensions and to create new ones.
So what can be done to mitigate these risks? Is there a way to ensure that AI is used for cooperation rather than conflict on a global scale?
Well, it's a complex challenge, but there are steps we can take. One is to promote international cooperation in AI research and development, sharing knowledge and expertise to ensure that the benefits of AI are distributed more equitably.
That makes sense. Collaboration is key to avoiding a winner-take-all scenario where only a handful of powerful nations control AI technology.
Another important step is to establish international norms and standards for responsible AI development, similar to the treaties that govern nuclear weapons and other potentially dangerous technologies.
So it's about creating a framework for global AI governance to ensure that AI is used ethically and responsibly, and that it doesn't become a tool for oppression or destruction.
And it's about engaging in open and honest dialogue among nations about the potential risks and benefits of AI to build trust and understanding and to find common ground on how to manage this transformative technology.
That's a crucial point. Dialogue and diplomacy are essential for navigating the complex geopolitical landscape of AI.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that AI is a global issue that requires global solutions.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of AI, it's clear that we've only just scratched the surface of this incredibly complex and ever-evolving topic. It's both fascinating and, frankly, a little bit daunting to consider all of the potential implications of AI for humanity.
It really is. It's a topic that demands our continued attention, our critical thinking, and our willingness to engage in open and honest conversations about the challenges and opportunities that AI presents.
You've given our listeners a lot to think about today. I think one of the biggest takeaways for me is that the future of AI is not predetermined. It's up to us to shape it.
I completely agree. We have a responsibility to ensure that AI is used for good, that it benefits all of humanity, and that it helps us create a more just, equitable, and sustainable world.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration. We hope you found it informative, thought-provoking, and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you and our listeners.
And that concludes another episode of Beyond the Known. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of artificial intelligence. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and keep asking the big questions.